Welcome back. Part 2. We've been talking about accessing our cognition, escaping the instant response of fight or flight, and holding ourselves accountable when we are entering our freeze response. So if you are finding that when you're parenting you're getting lost in the fight or flight response, or that you feel that you are entering a freeze response, these are really normal. They're an ancient part of our anatomy, and that they've kept us safe for millions of years. In saber-toothed tiger times, they have kept you safe. So we can be grateful for those, but when we are dealing with children, when we are trying to communicate and be assertive, these are useful parts of the way that we deal with things. So today's video is going to be a guided meditation. I'm going to guide you through this, and what we're going to try and do is access the upstairs part of our brain. So we'll just get straight to it. I'm really looking forward to this. It's been a few weeks since we've guided a meditation on YouTube, but first of all, just if you're sitting, sit comfortably, and if you're lying down, if you like to switch the lights off, if you'd like to get into bed, you can do whatever you want to just get comfortable. Please don't do this while you're driving. This might be quite relaxing and you don't want to be out of concentration, so please make sure that you're safe and that you're in a suitable environment to go through this meditation with me. As always, and as you're getting used to, we're going to use the breath to enter the meditation. So I'm going to speak to you, but I want you to breathe, and I want you to become aware of your breath. So just start to bring your awareness onto your breath. Start to become aware of your breath. Take a deep breath in, and then breathe out. Take a deep breath in, and breathe all the way out. This time you're going to pause a little bit at the top. So breathe all the way in, and pause, just hold it. Breathe out. Pause at the bottom. Then breathe in. Pause at the top. Breathe out. Pause at the bottom. Breathe in. Try and keep this rhythm. Long inhale, small pause at the end of the inhale, long slow exhale, and pause at the end of the exhale. Try to keep your rhythm, and anytime that you get lost in your thought, or you feel that you are transported away, I just want you to return to your breath. And make sure that you're breathing in that pattern, that you're breathing in, pausing before you breathe out, that you're pausing at the bottom. Keep breathing. You're doing really well. Just keep breathing. And this is the breathing pattern that you will always have available to you. Whenever you feel like you're in fight or flight, whenever you are in freeze, then you can always take a deep breath in, hold, and then a deep breath out, and hold. And realize that you're breathing in this fresh oxygen, and that fresh oxygen is going to do some work inside your body to fight your battles, to deal with all of the problems, to transport around to every single part of your body, and to feed your cells that life-giving oxygen. And that the exhale is there to transport away any of your toxic carbon dioxide, to remove all of the waste, and to make space for the fresh and the new. So as I'm talking, anytime that your thoughts drift away, return to your breath, bring yourself back to your center, and remind yourself that this breathing technique is always going to be there for you whenever you're in fight or flight or freeze. Just breathing in, pause, and breathing out, pause. And at your own rhythm, you're taking this at the rhythm that you feel comfortable. And you're extending the breath as you're concentrating deeper and as you're becoming more competent at this breathing technique. Take deeper breaths. Let yourself soften into the meditation. Become one with your breath and allow your breath to find its rhythm, gently urging your breath to stay for longer, and to be comfortable, to find your rhythm, to be here with yourself, so that whenever you feel threatened, whenever you're plunged into your anxiety, whenever anybody's treating you with aggression and you're being sent into a response, maybe in your fight, maybe you're in your flight, maybe you're in your freeze, that you will be able to return to your breath. You can access this breathing technique and straight away you can take that deep breath and then pause and breathe out and pause, and do that as many times as you need to. And as you relax into the meditation and let your breathing guide you, you'll feel that every breath brings in new, fresh oxygen and allows you to combat the feelings of anxiety within. That you will be able to start to pause in the moment, that you're not going to react from your spinal column, that you're going to be able to take conscious breath and conscious thought and conscious response, because you've taken control of the life force that brings oxygen and power and fresh to every single part of your body, that when you're in fight or flight and sometimes in freeze, your breath will be sudden, will be shallow, will be difficult, it'll be stuttered. And when you're in freeze, sometimes you can just end up holding your breath. So if you can remember to access your breathing, that if you can remember to be conscious of your breath, and you can pick this up early enough before you allow yourself to act from your fight, flight or freeze, and that before you act you can remember that you always have access to this breath. Keep breathing, breathing in, pause, and then breathing out, pause. And that you always have this at the tip of your fingers, that any time that you're feeling your body is in a response and that you are unable to think this through, that you're not using your reason and that you're reacting from an instantaneous reaction of sudden and decisive without really being able to think it through, without the reasoning. You're not really responding, you're more reacting. And so when you sense that that's the case, the earlier that you can return to your breath, the earlier that you can start to take conscious breath, the sooner that you'll be able to use your conscious brain and think this through and make an educated, informed, authentic, conscious, considerate decision, rather than playing out a unconscious response which you have no control over. The fight or the flight, both can be destructive, and when we know that we have our breath, and we know that we can have our thoughts, and we know that we can have our speech, all conscious and all constructive, working for us, then we are unstoppable in the face of difficulty, anxiety, aggression, pain, suffering. And in the face of a child who isn't causing us any reason to be anxious, we can take care of the children, and we can look at the children with compassion and empathy, understanding and consideration. All impossible when we're in our fight or flight response, and irrelevant when we're in our freeze response, because freeze is already decided. So when we are dealing with children who might be scary sometimes, who might be aggressive sometimes, who might trigger us into our ancient fight or flight response, that we can return to our breath. Returning to our breath, taking that big deep in breath, pause, and then exhale. And pause. And just doing that on repeat until we can see who we're really dealing with, and that we can start to enter our upstairs brain, that we can soothe our nervous system and exit our spinal column and enter the brain. I really hope this was helpful for you. Keep breathing like this as long as you need to. Whenever you're ready, start to move your fingers and toes a little bit and start to bring yourself back into the room. Become aware of your surroundings, and then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. There's no rush from me. I'm going to leave the meditation there. It's going to be an abrupt ending, so that if you would like to continue, you should feel free to meditate for as long as you want, to really reinforce that reminder that your breath is always there for you whenever you need it, that you can always turn to your breath, and that you're not going to have any doubt in the moment, that you always have your center, your grounding, your life force to turn to, and that in those moments, those trying moments where you sense that you're in fight, flight or freeze, breathing consciously will give you access to the conscious reasoning required to make healthy, constructive, collaborative decisions. I'm going to end the meditation there, quietly. See you all in the next video. Please take your time and enjoy the meditation and continue breathing.